Warning, this is a true crime podcast and is not suitable for all audiences. Please use discretion. This series includes descriptions of sexual assault against minors. Whilst the descriptions are not explicit, please take extra care whilst listening.
A 14-year-old schoolgirl has gone missing in Blackpool.
The murder of 14-year-old Charlene Downes.
No one has ever been convicted.
She was groomed for sex, picked up and abused by countless men around Blackpool's seafront, and her body has never been found.
This podcast is about a girl called Charlene Downes. In this series, I'm going to tell you what we know about her life, her disappearance, and her story, because she's not here to tell it herself. In fact, we don't know where she is, and we haven't since November 2003. But someone does, and there's a large team of people working hard right now to make sure there's justice for her, including me. I'm Naomi Channell, and this is episode 1 of a 10-part podcast series called What Happened to Charlene Downes? Can you remember being 14 years old? Try to cast your mind back. Typically, a 14-year-old is midway through their education, has some friends, arguments between peers can be frequent and usually trivial. Puberty is usually happening about now. Maybe you'd start to go out without your parents on a weekend, maybe go on a date with a classmate, hold hands, maybe even have your first kiss. Start to become more independent, but in the back of your mind, hopefully you know that your parents or guardians are around to support you if you need them. Whilst you might feel like an adult at times, physically, emotionally and legally, you're still a child, and children should be protected by adults. But tragically, we know this isn't always the case. There are children who are forced to grow up before they're ready, experience things they shouldn't, and Charlene Downes was one of those children. This case is extremely complex. It's frustrating and at times it's unfathomable, but it's also heartbreaking. But it is a story that needs to be heard. It's going to be a real deep dive, a real investigation, and I will warn you, there are parts that will be extremely hard to listen to. So why this case? There are hundreds of thousands of people missing all over the world, many of them children. So why would a podcast series on this case be helpful? Well, one of the major problems in this case is what the public have been told by the media. And an even bigger problem is what the public haven't been told. To truly have a chance of uncovering what happened to Charlene Downes, and to get justice for her, we need to lay out all the facts and leave no stone unturned. This is not only in the hope of getting justice for Charlene, but also to create change and to stop this from happening to another child. Blackpool is a coastal town on the northwest coast of England, and to some people, it's known as the Vegas of the North. Though if you've been to Las Vegas and Blackpool, you'll probably disagree. The differences are vast. There are lots of lights, a lot of attractions, and there's an element of mystery. It's a transient town. Large groups of people pass through the town daily. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's laced in humour and fun. But when it comes to November 2003, what happened in Blackpool is laced in sadness and tragedy, and can't stay in Blackpool. It needs to be heard the world over. I've mentioned that this case is complex, so I'm going to give you an overview of what happened the night Charlene Downes went missing, and then we'll go through each part of the investigation, piece by piece.